Hey, what's happening, y'all? This is Taylor Henderson and Coda Jeter, and we are the co-founders, or each of us are co-founders of Publicly United. This is our first podcast on what we're doing, pushing our mission statement and everything like that. And basically, we're here to tell our story, and from there, we're gonna show you or tell you more or less of what we're trying to push for. We are an activist organization, and we're just pushing for a change because it's time for one. So, what you got, bro?
I mean, I think I should have said all that because I'm actually like
Then why you said it for me to take the lead?
No.
Come on,
it's
bro.
Cool, it's cool. No, this is my brother of 20 years. Been friends a long time. Kind of started. Our families kind of grew up on side each other. One day I was outside and he was playing basketball and his ball jumped the fence, and it just started from there. He asked me if I wanted to play, and we've been friends ever since. So yeah. All that led to what we're doing now, I guess.
Yeah, as of last Saturday, being June 6, 2020, we did a protest for after the wrongful killing of George Floyd, and it's time to stop. And I feel for my dude right here, because I know every day when he gets up and he goes to work and stuff like that, that he has a chance of me not seeing him again. And you know, his kids are like they're my nieces and nephew, and I just don't want them to grow up in the same society that we live in today. So right now we're gonna try and step up and make a change. We're small now, but we got a good following, a lot of people behind us, and a great team. And we feel like we can move forward with that and try and change the world.
I mean, it's a very touchy thing when we talk about these things. I know a lot of people have different opinions and whatnot, but the overall factor I think that's kind of been starting, I think, in our area is people just making that first step. And I say that to everyone because the first step is, the most important part, because if you're willing to make that first step, then you can, take all the rest of the necessary steps to get to the point where it might, maybe be like how we are. Every relationship or situation is different, but I think, just acknowledging that, two people might be different, and seeing the differences and having not matter, I think those are like something that's important for other people, to, I guess, practice.
Right. Yeah, and even as a kid, whenever I saw the basketball jump the fence, and I asked for it back, and I seen him, I saw somebody I just wanted to play basketball with it. I mean, I recognized that he was a black man, or a black kid, I should say. And
I recognized he was a white man.
Yeah, and we just didn't care. We just wanted somebody to play with, and just something simply as that happened and sparked a friendship that'll last forever. And so, that's basically where we are as far as, that goes, and for who we are. I know you can't really tell as of right now, but I've always been known as the country boy. The cowboy boots, dip, all the things that would be portrayed on that side, and he's a rapper. So, you normally wouldn't see those two kind of people hashing it out or being cool with each other.
Yeah.
But
based
just goes
off
to
of,
show
just the, how appearances are, because, people tend to see, first impression, and see somebody like him or like me, and they'll think of one thing and not think that we have things that are, in common, or, what have you, that would just have us come together. So I think appearance can be a little blinding sometimes.
Yeah, not take everything to face value, because you don't, just because you see that person the way they are does not mean that they're portrayed as what that image is. They might have a completely different mindset. My example, me being an example and him being an example, you wouldn't think us two would be best friends, but here we are today.
Yeah. And it's crazy how all this led up to what we're doing now, because we just wanted to, I guess, just have our voices heard, even in a small area that we come from. It can still have a major impact on a larger scope of things, but for it to go from the protest to realizing, okay, how can we actually make a change just in general, and that just led to us creating this organization, Publicly United, and just doing all the research that goes with starting an organization and trying to make it bigger to where we can operate and do this and do that, and community service, and different things that we can do to build the community and build better relationships with law enforcement, and encourage voting, voter registration, just little bitty things that actually make a change that people might feel that they don't make a change, because I was a person about 2 years ago. I didn't feel like voting would change anything, and one person's vote doesn't change anything. It's a collective of people that actually make the change. So I think, just educating yourself on certain things kind of brings your overall perspective into the way.
Especially, kind of bouncing off what he said, especially of Vols Parish.
Yeah.
The ways ours, we have quite a few people here, but it kind of, a lot of people don't vote, and that affects how our parish is ran. Just, people don't realize, but I said this at the protest, that, a lot of people's like, well, I don't have time to go vote, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. We're going to try and create means to get you there. Because we want you to, because, I mean, the biggest thing is the next 5 minutes it takes to go out and vote could mean the next 4 years of how your life is played out. And I think, you should make every minute count. You should put out there, I mean, as one person, your voice can only be so loud, but as a vote, it can be much louder, and towards a point that you try and get your city, your state, or your country to get to.
And it's just a collective of people just, coming together and trying to create a change in their community. Because, I mean, too many times we just sit back and just, I guess, kind of be a little complacent as far as just letting things, stay the same and let things pass and slide under the rug, and nobody does anything or says anything about it. And I think it just creates like this overall thing where, things just stay the same, and people just, it's normalized, so you really don't think about it until stuff like what happened to George Floyd or Ahmaud Arbery or Breonna Taylor happens, and then you're just like, ooh, it kind of brings you back to reality, or kind of grounds you in the sense that things are not how they should be, so.
Yeah, it's, we're just trying to push for that. I mean, just to put this out there first, Publicly United is not, we're a nonpartisan organization, more or less meaning that we do want people to vote, but we're not on a Democratic side, Republican side, independent.
We're not telling you who you should vote for.
Right, just the fact that you should vote. Right. We do have Facebook. Obviously we have YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all those things. So you can check us out on there. As of right now, until further notice, we will put out. But for right now, Facebook is actually AVPB The Change. We're just having a very difficult time getting Facebook to let us change our name to Publicly United. But as far as Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, it'll be all under Publicly United.
Just to elaborate on Facebook, if you type in Publicly United, it will pop up. It'll just show AVP The Change as the title, and that's what shows up whenever you share a post or whatnot. So, yeah. But everything else is Publicly United: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all those things.
Another thing on Facebook, especially, we'll have new content on there. We had a board of directors meeting today. We'll have new content on there Monday and Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we will have lives where we'll go live and talk about whatever's going on or what we're pushing for at our next event. The reason, kind of express to y'all why it's important that y'all should show up and hear everything that we've got to say and what the city has to say, because it's all important for you, especially if you live in that city, in that particular city. Obviously, you want to hear what your future is looking like.
Yeah, we're just basically getting everything more organized, so that way we can be more consistent with displaying the information that we're trying to put out there. Our meetings, information towards what he just said, updated news on current things that are going on, letting you know about events that are coming up, so that way you know when and where, or when to be there, and what to do. Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of stuff that we're getting ready to do right now. We're just slowly putting everything in motion. We have our team, or most of our team together. So it's a process, just like anything else.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen overnight,
Without going into like a strict detail, just to give y'all kind of idea what we're pushing for, as we're going towards police reform. Obviously, that's a big issue that we feel like would tackle a lot of the separate problems, more like an umbrella effect. And then we're also going for trying to break systematic oppression through education.
Right, because we're not gonna physically fight.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna use. I've said this multiple times, but Nelson Mandela said that education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, and we're gonna stand exactly behind that and try and push different aspects. We have different ideas of ways we could do this to get, to at least chip away at the systematic oppression until it finally breaks.
Yeah, because I feel like the gap between where people are, I guess, bumping heads on certain things comes down to being educated or aware of these topics that people discuss. I think a lot of people look at Black Lives Matter in a negative way, in the sense that it means, the rest of people's lives don't matter, and that's totally not the case. It's just basically saying we feel like our lives don't matter because things go on and they don't get heard or seen unless we draw attention to it. Not saying that his life doesn't matter, or somebody who's Mexican or whatever race you are, that their life doesn't matter. That's not the case. So just wanted to clarify on that for people who, because I get that conversation all the time where it'll be Black Lives Matter versus All Lives Matter, and that's really not the thing that we're going for, because we're not saying that. So.
Right, we're not at all saying that not all lives matter, but what we are saying is that until Black Lives Matter, all lives matter don't matter. Once we can get that, once we can make sure that everybody's lives all matter, then we can start chanting all lives matter, and it'll be fine.
Yeah. And we're in the future that that Dr. Martin Luther King spoke of, for people who think things aren't. It's still some of the same things, but we're in that future right now. We just have certain things in place that are old in nature that allow these things that we see on a daily to keep occurring. So I think if people just come together as a whole, we can all tackle these issues that we see, and not just my issues, his issues, other people's issues. But until we come together, those things won't happen.
Yeah, as a white man and a black man, obviously the people who see this or hear this they'll be like, well, what in the world could a white man deal with that a black man doesn't, and vice versa.
Right.
We do have different lives, obviously, where you might deal with more of a systematic oppression as a black person. We do deal with our own separate things. People think that white people live this type of way when actually we struggle every day also, or some of us at least. Struggle every day, just like as far as financial reasons or whatever normal humans do. White people are depicted to be like they're up here in power and stuff, and sure, some of them are, but a normal basis of people, regular people, we still struggle just like anybody else does.
And I think the whole part about just struggle in general, I think we let a lot of misinformation kind of divide the overall picture of that we go through similar things and that we are similar. And I'm a victim of that too. I try not to feed into everything that I see. Do my own research, educate myself, so that way I don't, go out there and make myself look stupid on what I don't know.
Right.
But yeah. So.
Yeah. Also, we want to promote the next event. It's in Mansura, Louisiana. It's at 9 a.m. In the morning, obviously. They will be marching.
We'll be marching from, for anybody who knows where the train tracks are in Mansura, we'll be marching from there to the Couchon Delay Center. And from there, we'll have people come inside, and me and him are guest speakers, and then we'll have the mayor of Mansura also speak and give his remarks.
And while you're there, you have all the opportunity to register to vote. We actually encourage it majorly to do so. It'll be convenient if you're there. There will be tables set up where you can do that. So obviously, we want y'all to do that, to register to vote. It's very, 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 very important.
Yep. And just to clarify on the time, the only reason why we're doing it at 9 a.m. is so that way it's not too hot later on in the day, because when we did it last week, it was extremely hot. So we don't want anybody to, overheat or anything like that, because there's different ages of people that come. So just to clarify.
Yeah, and just expect big things. I mean, Public United, we're catching, we're setting goals. We're gonna push for them. Obviously, we'll get bigger as time goes, and we'll keep fighting, be from parish to parish and community to community to hopefully change the state and maybe make other states change and hopefully change the world. I mean, dream big while you can. Shoot for the stars, and that's exactly what us as an organization is gonna do.
Yep.
We're gonna try and push that way. His kids and my kids can grow up in a world where when they see a black man, it's no different than seeing another white man there, because we're all humans at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally agree. So if y'all would, if you're seeing this video, please subscribe. So that way, you can be up to date on what's going on and just be a part of the community in general. Other than that, man, we thank y'all for watching.
And hit that like button.
Yeah, definitely hit the like button.
It helps a lot more than you think it
Definitely
does.
hit the like button. Appreciate for everyone who's been supporting us so far.
Absolutely.
The people who are going to be supporting us in the future, we really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, hats off to y'all. Shout out to y'all, because y'all really be the change. We're just the forefront, we're the faces, but all the support from you guys is just going to help this in the end.
Yep. So thank y'all guys. Be safe.